by 21, I made a meal twice. Your dreams, my
Listen to these pussies.
to the sheep, gotta pray on and pray for my enemies, cause they wanna feel my energy. Lyrically know when they head of me. Get that next living legacy that you can't never be. Put that on everything, this is my destiny. It was all meant to be. Fuck is you telling me you ain't about nothing. But my niggas, we flexing and starting. But we had to work hard and we're hustling. Put your car, we know that you bluffing. I got 2 cars, nigga, 2 cribs.
All right, good afternoon. What's going on? Recording a little bit of a different style vlog today. It's not a vlog. It's going to be a little bit of a sit-down thing. Obviously not the typical day in the life. It is now 1:12 p.m. We're about to go get a session in. A little bit of mumbo-jumbo nonsense talk to start with. And then I'm going to sit down. I'm going to break you through my prep thus far. So we're currently at 9 and a half weeks out. And I thought that would be not a bad idea to sort of just have a sit-down, break down everything, some more structural elements to better understand why we do what we do, educational formats, so on and so forth. But I'll chuck some crap in amidst it too, just to essentially make things a little bit more entertaining. So let's look forward to that. And I'm absolutely dressed like a homeless person. Oh, that's the mirror that's dirty. I don't like that. So me and Mads did move out this week, which is fun. We are back in the thick of it in the best spot in Melbourne, in my opinion. And makes everything a lot easier for us too, especially around our obligations, prep, business, etc. Lifestyle, friends, family, all that stuff. So obviously was back with the mother for a little while, which did what it needed to do, obviously after everything happened last year. And now we are excited to start a new chapter. As you can see, we are still waiting on a bunch of furniture, kitchen table there, big old 6-seater couch there, and then probably a new TV as well. But in due course, everything else is ready to go. I'll even show you the little podcast set up later too. Admittedly, it is quite nice being able to train here during the day as well. I don't know if I'm going to pose or anything like that. I've got a little bit of work to do. I just booked in a consult for 6 o'clock. So we'll probably have to, what is it now? Just before 3, have to buy some pillows for the bed, and then maybe a quick check out of the physique, I guess. We can see how that looks. Well, the only thing we don't like about this posing room is the office lights. We still got some way to go, obviously. You would think so at 10 and something weeks out, but we'll see how this comes in. Can you see like the back rows up there? I guess. Anyway, right now I am gassed, I'm sore. It is fun. All right, we've showered. We have gotten changed and we have our micro USB to go and record this upstairs. So Prep 101, let's go. All right, so as promised, did a little bit of a sit-down video for today, just discussing some prep bits and pieces. I actually haven't really documented the prep much thus far, and it's been probably more so on account of some personal life turbulence, which I will be transparent about. When I say turbulence, nothing inherently bad has actually happened. Just some changing in living circumstances and things like that, high stress, mental health troughs, so on and so forth. And it's not to say that that's been a problem, but it's obviously made that social element of it or the public element of it not much of a priority. When I competed last time, obviously, I had no interest in anyone knowing that I was prepping. I kept that undercover. Everyone thinks, well, no one, I don't know what anyone actually thinks, but I kept that undercover just to take the pressure off myself, really, especially because the prep before my last prep I actually pulled out of, and that was in 2022. And that put a lot of doubt in me back then. So to do another prep was very much like, well, I think I can do it. And the last prep, I didn't think at any point that I would win a state show. That was the furthest thing from my mind. I think the only point that I realized, hey, I might actually do okay, was I remember posing with Ryan Hargraves, a friend of mine, at like 7 weeks out, or maybe 5 weeks out it was. And he's like, what are you thinking to get out of this show? And I was like, well, I'd love to like be a first call out or like win a true novice class. And he was like, dude, why are you even doing true novice? And I'm like, because I'm a true novice for men's physique. And he's like, dude, you're running with the big boys. And I'm like, nah. And that's kind of when the thought got into my head. But I kept that undercover to keep the pressure off myself. And because I don't give a shit about social, like about validation. Like I don't need to be validated. I don't care what people think of me. I do this because I like it. I run a good business. Everything goes well. Clients are happy. Staff are happy. We got the reputation that I wanted, make good money, all that good stuff. Like, I don't need some random person on social media to tell me you look sick, bro. And I don't care if it's random on social media tells me you look sick, bro, because men's physique in particular, the amount of guys that will be like, oh, this guy looks awesome. And I sit there like, he's not men's physique. So like, yeah, he looks good for a normal person, but from a competitive sense, no. Like, my point is that validation means very little to me. And this is not arrogance. It's just you reach an age, I'm 31, you reach an age where you realize you do everything for you, not necessarily you, but you, the people closest to you, your future family, all that stuff, you know? And but this prep in particular was always in the works. Off-season got derailed a little with my old man passing last year. Rest in peace. Obviously, that was a very difficult time, and some other less than ideal life circumstances, which obviously the others created, well, obviously less significant than that by a significant degree, but created a lot of turbulence, which meant things were not necessarily perfect. And there's been a lot of times going into this prep where I've sort of thought to myself, did you do everything right? Because I didn't really have the opportunity to do everything right last year. Like, between that happening, some travel towards the end of the year, some ups and downs on a personal front on account of that, or as a result of that, things go a little bit haywire, and you start to question, did I do everything that I could? But now, the way that I saw it was, because in my mind, this was always like, okay, this could be the last one. Like I said, I'll be 32 the day after Nationals, the day before Nationals. If you see me on Nationals, say happy birthday. I don't care. You don't have to say happy birthday. I probably won't even celebrate it. I will celebrate finishing the show, but I probably won't be, this is my birthday. I always kept saying to myself, this is the last one. This is the last one. I need to do really well. I need to win. I need to do this. I need to do that. But then I kind of realized, like, why? Like, if health is good and I'm still enjoying it, and I will be doing thorough health checks moving forward, especially after what I mentioned previously, there's no reason not to keep going, and especially if I enjoy it. And I do find that I enjoy it. Prep's never a chore for me. Look, don't get me wrong, it's always a chore. I think the hardest thing with prep is, it's not that it's hard, because for me anyway, I eat my meals regardless. I train my sessions regardless. I hit my steps regardless. I sleep my whatever I can sleep regardless. I do all that shit regardless. And the reason I do all that regardless is because it's an obligation to myself as a coach. Like, this is what I have to do. It's like my job. It's like I wouldn't wake up and not complete a client's check-in or not service my client the way that I'm expected to. And that's the same thing that I would do to myself, right? I think the difference with the prep where people have trouble is you don't have a choice. So if you're having a shit day and you don't feel like doing something, you just have to do it. But the reality is you'd probably do it anyway in a normal day. Like, you'd probably do it anyway. It's just, I think that mental burden of like being almost boxed in makes it harder. That's what I notice anyway. But other than that, like, realistically, prep gets hard. For me, it's hard obviously it's hard full stop, but the last 4 weeks maybe. But even in saying that, like I said, old man passing away last year. And I think this is important for anyone listening as well. It puts a lot of things into perspective. Prep's not hard. It's a choice. It is something we choose to do, or something we're blessed to do. It's something that at the end of the day doesn't matter that much. Like, we love it, but it doesn't matter that much. There's other areas of life, and I had this conversation with a client today, which are exponentially more difficult to deal with and exponentially more life-changing. And you can wake up tomorrow and say, I'm not doing this, and no one bats an eye. And if you're in that position, no one's batting an eye. No one cares. I pulled out of my show in 2022. I thought everyone was going to care. No one did. And I'm glad that I did, because I would have looked terrible. But yeah, where am I going with this? Okay, so we finished the show last year, end of April. Had a bit of a meltdown. Not because of how I placed. It was how I placed. But it wasn't because of how I placed in regards to the actual placing. Like, it's not like I was like, I need to win. I need a gold medal. I need a silver medal. I think it was the fact that one of the guys who I beat in Adelaide, he placed ahead of me by 4 places, actually. And hats off to him. He looked fantastic, Jamie. But it was like, okay, so Jamie improved between regionals and nationals. And I got worse. And I just couldn't fathom that, like, either I didn't get better or that I potentially got worse. To me, it was like, I should at least be getting better. And don't get me wrong, he was significantly improved. But one place, two places, 4 places. I was a little bit like, okay, like I missed. But in hindsight, look back on it. I look back on it now and I'm like, I did probably not look as good as I did at the state show, but I didn't miss as bad as I think I did. I just placed where I deserved on the day, and that's fair. It's not about winning. It's not about winning, and that's something which has been a development for me in the last probably 6 to 12 months. But like I said already, like last season was never about winning, but I think when you win a state show, that expectation just sits on your shoulders and you're like, cool. And then I remember going to all the shows after that state show, looking at the other guys and competing. I'm like, yeah, I reckon I can get him here. I can get him here. And I knew I was a smaller guy and I knew I was a less experienced guy than some of these guys that are really good athletes, but still, yeah, that goes in your head and people are talking you up and people are getting around you and all of a sudden you're popular and you're cool and people that you were irrelevant to previously, now you're relevant, and you wear the stress pretty quickly. So anyway, right now, what are we? Well, Jude and I are competing together. We actually haven't decided what we want to do just yet in terms of shows. So I think this morning I said 9 weeks out. I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you when I started the prep. I know I stopped having off-plan meals on the 26th of May. That's all I can tell you. And the only reason I know that is because it was the night before my partner got back from Japan. We had my last one. Currently still on like 2,800 calories, which is good for me. No cardio, 12,000 steps. PEDs are reasonable. Using more than last time, just from a test DHT anchoring perspective. But from a lipolytic perspective, gratefully less, because this is where I don't like really pushing the envelope, because that's what generally makes me feel the worst and generally worries me most in regards to health outcomes. I'll actually be drawing bloods on Saturday, actually. I just thought it would be a good idea because I try to draw my bloods every 12-ish weeks, irrespective, and I tried to do them every 8 actually, but I just kept delaying it because I was moving houses, because we did move houses. This is our new little podcast hub, which isn't complete yet. It will get there. But lipo's minimal, which is good. And in respect to what our expectations are, it is definitely a different prep to last time. As a matter of fact, I'm 94 kilos today. And at this point, last prep, I was like 88. And I would say I'm roughly the same conditioning. Does that mean I've put on 6 kilos of stage weight? Probably not. That'd be fucking lovely. But like, I'm hoping, I got on stage last time, flat in the morning, 77, before carb loading. I'm hoping this time 82 would be lovely. I know 5 kilos is optimistic. That doesn't mean I've put on 5 kilos. That means I may have put on 2.5, which would be realistic. And I may have been able to preserve another 2.5, because obviously we do things a little bit differently, a bit more experience, different moving parts, some different vectors, so on and so forth, going about it smarter. Like I said, calorie load is higher, output is lower, lipolytics are lower. Who knows where that will land? But I'd say this is the first week where I'm actually feeling anything. A little bit of just hunger, a little bit of the sleep. I'm up at like 4 a.m. again, ready to go. Last night I think I woke up at 3 and I was like, stay in bed. It could be the new house, new bed, all that stuff, because I did move in with Maddie, which has been fun. We are back in the thick of it, Thornbury, Northcote, Brunswick area, which is where I want to be. And nice and proximal to Doherty. So obviously we chose to sponsor the season B and the season C shows this season. And the reason we chose to sponsor the shows is because something we've always wanted to do. We have a really big cohort for season B as well. I think we have like 13, 14, and we've got some really good people amongst that too. And we thought with us competing for season C as well, what better way to represent it? Plus we've got a couple of like OG clients also doing it, which is like so they're not necessarily working for us. Let's take Trey Wallace, for example, but like one of my oldest clients, one of my best friends, and it's kind of like that's a further representation of us. And I thought, what better time is probably my take home point here. But what can we expect from here? Man, like just linear stuff. Like my meals are literally rump mince, rice, capsicum twice a day, oats, mixed fruit, dark chocolate twice a day. My supplement stack is fun. Lots of adaptogens. My nicotine abuse is high. My caffeine abuse is high. I can't do much about that, but to be honest, it's no worse than it is at any other point. But now that we are bulletproofed into routine, we are hoping that it should be good fun. Well, it's not that we're hoping it should be good fun. It will be good fun. And my last prep was one of the best experiences of my life. My last prep, I think I had like 5 weddings throughout it, including my brother's and my brother's Bucks party. And that made it difficult, but that was half the fun in reflecting back at the end, right? But Yes, we definitely did things differently this time. So like we had like a much longer cruise period and we sort of front load a little bit with the growth phase before moving into everything, which is also interesting to see. There was times I was like, hey, Joe, are you sure we're doing this still with Joe Jeffrey? We'll never leave Joe Jeffrey, by the way. If I am to leave Joe, it will be because I packed it in and have called it a day and I'm starting a family, which is probably not going to be for a little while. But yeah, I know I haven't really shared the intricacies of the prep, but I hope that the story itself, the anecdotes, the reflections can be helpful for someone. If you are looking to engage in a prep and you're not sure, or you're looking for your second run or your third run, etc. Let's say it's your first run. I strongly encourage any of you to do it. Make sure you understand your reasons why you're doing it, because if you're doing that for validation, the space to grow your business, so on and so forth, I'll tell you what, I didn't get any business out of winning a state show last year. If anything, the business was the worst it was around that time, just after, being May time of year. Yeah, like you got to make sure that your reasons run deep, because you will inevitably find yourself in a spot at some point where you need to dig deep to find that reason as to why you're doing this, because you're going to ask yourself, why the fuck am I doing this? But if you can keep it quiet, that takes a whole layer of pressure off, because second time around, I think that's another reason why I've been apprehensive to share, is because it's like you post yourself, people talk a bit of smack, but let people talk smack. People put a little bit of pressure on, people start asking questions. I don't want that. I just want to mind my business. And at the end of the day, like my business comes first. I love bodybuilding, but business comes first. Like it always will. And if the business was to take a hit on account of this, or I had to pick one or the other, the business would win every fucking time, no matter what. I'm a coach and athlete. I'd love to be a good athlete. I think I'm a decent athlete for an amateur. But it's not something that I ever envisioned to like as an overarching goal of mine when I was young. Like everyone wants to be a bodybuilder. Everyone wants to. I loved men's physique when I was a kid. I was so excited when Joe's like, "Why don't you do men's physique?" I was like, "Yeah, fuck yeah." But it was never like something where I was like, "I want to be a pro athlete. I want to be a competitive athlete." It was kind of just something where I'm like, I enjoy this and it's fun and I'm passionate about it. And sometimes I wish I started younger, so I had years to go. But I'll continue to live that through my clients, thankfully for me, when my time is up. So I hope this was interesting. I'm not that interesting of a person, am I? Well, no. I don't know. You can be the judge of that. Thank you for tuning in. Like, subscribe, and do all that stuff. Enjoy the day.
We're excited to introduce to you something we've been working on behind the scenes, and that is the Coaching Collective by My Strength Book. This is a self-managed coaching platform for people that want structure, education, and accountability without committing to one-on-one coaching. You'll get access to thousands of educational videos, from things about nutrition, training, and supplementation, all the way up to health management and PEDs, in the exact same way we deliver it to all of our clients. Dozens of structured training programs designed by our team, tailored to your goals, which you can work through, input, and assess your progress on week. And on top of that, an inbuilt nutrition tracker, sample meal plans, and an ever-growing library of educational ebooks to make sure that you are learning as much as you can every step of the way. This is a complete system, all in one place, at your own pace. And the best part is, it's only $10 a week. So this is the perfect option if you're not quite ready for coaching, but you want some direction and consistency. This is not only a complete platform, but an entry point to how we coach. So if you're interested, check out the description on all our platforms, as well as the bios on our Instagram profiles.